So I'm not going to get into I'm sorry. It's sad. Oh my God, I don't believe this happened. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm not going to do that. I really never been that type of person. Sorry is just a word. It really doesn't have any meaning to it unless you, as a person, decide to put meaning to it. Sorry. And exactly what does sorry do? I'll tell you what sorry does. Sorry makes you feel better. Sorry is a selfish word. Sorry is turning this whole thing and giving the attention to you. Sorry doesn't do jack fucking shit. Now, you could sit here and tell me, well, that's the best we could offer, Eric. Is it? You're pathetic. As usual. That's the best you could fucking offer? Is a fucking word? 2 syllables? That's the best thing that you can fucking do, huh? Sorry? You're sorry. No, you're pathetic. You're a disgrace as a human being. You're beyond an idiot. And I don't even like that word. You're a potato. You're meaningless. You're sorry. You have a woman, not a cop. You have a woman who has lost her life down here on earth at a very young age. And all you can do is say sorry. You're kind of no different than Fox 32 Chicago and the rest of the media in Chicago. You air this story, you talk about how it's a tragedy, you say the name Ella G. French as if you really give a fuck. You're here for the ratings. You're here for the ads. You're here for the commercials. From a serious, beyond psychology point of view, scientific, numbers, the news agencies in Chicago, in the world, they're only up and running because of the commercials and the corporations and politicians who pay the news. No commercials, no news. What's the next domino? I know you're not a program director at Fox Chicago. You don't need to be a program director at Fox Chicago to know this. Violence. That gives ratings. That equals ratings. That equals human minds and eyes and ears. So they could report to their sponsors. You didn't know? None of you asked this question, have you? Well, after the transition for Ella G. French leaving from planet Earth to heaven, you don't think Fox Chicago and the rest of the news organizations in Chicago reported to their sponsors, hey, during this month, we had this many people watch our station at this time. Why is that, Fox Chicago? Why is that news agencies in Chicago? News agencies in America? Well, because of Ella G. French. Because she had to lose her life for you to report big numbers to your sponsors. Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong. course I'm not wrong. When I'm wrong, I will fully admit when I'm wrong. And I will learn from it, by the way. It's unlikely I'm wrong. Sorry. Okay, well, you know what? I'm not fucking sorry. I have answers. I have solutions. I have operations. I have ideas. Because that's who I am. So instead of me going and just saying I'm sorry, which doesn't do jack shit for Ella G. French or her family or her poor mother or her poor husband, I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to say something. I'm going to provide an idea that will keep her legacy alive, that will, more importantly, without a doubt in my mind, save hundreds, if not thousands, of not only Chicago police officers, but Illinois State Trooper officers. And not only will it save Chicago police officers' lives and Illinois State Troopers' lives, once it works in Chicago, compliments of Ella G. French, the rest of the country, police departments, will pick up this idea. So I'm not sorry. Keeping her legacy alive. I'm not sorry. I'm doing something so it doesn't happen again, as it should have never happened with her. You still sorry? It has never been safe for any officer to get out of his or her vehicle and approach another vehicle, which is the unknown. You have absolutely no fucking idea who is in that vehicle. What is in that vehicle? That's a fact of life. You go ahead, you pull up the driver's license plate number, you see on the computer who is supposed to be driving that car, who owns that car. If they have a criminal record, that's not concrete. It's never 100% concrete. You know that. And even if it is concrete, even if it is the driver of the vehicle, even if it is right, you don't know the frame of mind of that driver in the vehicle. We could talk worst case scenarios. Am I a negative person? I'm precautious. I'm careful. I prevent. I think ahead. While you're dropping the first domino, I'm at 50 dominoes already falling. That person in that vehicle could have had a horrible fight with his girlfriend. That person in that vehicle could be beyond drunk as fuck. You know, when you drink certain alcohol, it triggers you a certain way. So if you drink one type of alcohol, it makes you happy. If you drink another type of alcohol, it makes you angry. Did you know that? Well, it does. That person could have had alcohol to make him angry. That person could be on drugs, not feel a damn thing. It's never, ever been safe for any officer to leave his or her vehicle and walk up to the unknown. It's a fact of life. What do we do? How do we prevent this? Well, let's learn from Ella G's French. Is beyond sad, disgusting situation. What's the first step? Well, she pulled this fucking monster over. She pulled this demon over. Why did she do that? According to reports, if that's true, expired tags, Okay? Is it safe to say from an intelligent point of view that Ella G. French is no longer here? Because, and let me know, sit down when you hear this. Calm yourself. I urge you to sit. Is it safe to say that Ella G. French is no longer here? Because puppet politicians and their masterminds have told officers to pull people over for an expired sticker on their license plate so they can get more money to control, because from a psychological point of view, they want to be like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and control money and hire people and their friends and give their friends jobs and pensions that absolutely no other corporation would give them. Is it safe to say that all officers, including Illinois state troopers, during their roll call and their daily meetings, they're told that they have to pull over a certain amount of vehicles and give a certain amount of tickets to meet their quota? Is that safe to say? Go ahead. Tell me I'm wrong again. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, I think unfortunately that's safe to say. Guy was a demon. We'll get to him in a minute. Won't stay on him too long. But if we had the time machine to do this all over again and go back, well, I don't want an officer in Inglewood at nighttime pulling over someone, which is the unknown, over a bullshit fucking expired sticker that's just going to get masterminds who control puppet politicians richer so they could fulfill their insecurities. It's never going to be enough money for them. No. Fuck off. Leave them alone. But apparently that's not going to change. Speak to a lot of officers. I speak to a lot of other people. Their response? Well, Eric, we signed up for this job. Look, honey, you want to lie to yourself all day, you go right ahead. Please don't lie to me. Don't bullshit a bullshitter. And I could assure you I've been doing this triple times before you, and you fuckers are older than me. Don't deceive me. I probably came from hell at one time and point. I probably was with Satan himself when it comes to lying and deceiving. Try to put the brakes on that. If anyone's going to do the lying, I'll do the lying around here. From a psychology point of view, the reason why you're telling me that, more importantly, the reason why you're telling yourself that is because you really want to say, yeah, Eric, you're right. I'm putting my life in danger every time over a fucking expired sticker. I'm putting my life in danger every time I have to give a warrant to someone's home. And I'm a sitting duck. And there's nothing I can do about it. Because lawmakers and no one else wants to decide to change the system. See? Now you're being honest. Now we could move forward. And someone does want to change the system. And you have to start somewhere. So here's the reason why I'm doing this video. It's pretty obvious that lawmakers and puppet politicians aren't going to tell all the chief of directors of the Chicago Police Department and the Illinois State Police stop pulling people over for an expired license plate. Stop pulling people over because they don't have a Chicago sticker or a village sticker. That's pretty clear. That would ruin millions, if not billions, of revenue for them. Well, what you can do is you could create an app, and you call this app Ella G. French. The newer makes of the models of cars in 2021, even last year. Well, let's move forward. Every time a vehicle comes out, there are apps in the radio. Siri, air conditioning, iPhone, all kinds of apps. You create an app titled Ella G. French, and on that app will be a picture of her. What is going to happen is every time anyone gets pulled over in the state of Illinois, the officer who pulls that person over will type in the license plate in his or her vehicle safely. He will be able to communicate with FaceTime through this Ella G. French app. So the person who this officer pulls over, the driver, will click on the Ella G. French app, which is a picture of her, and the driver will communicate with the officer. And as usual, the officer will state, "My name is so-and-so, I'm with this department, this phone conversation and this app is being recorded. The reason why I pulled you over is for whatever reason." And you confirm with that person verbally, "Are you so-and-so on this computer?" And the driver will respond. Now I know what you're thinking, and we'll get into all of this, because I promise you, whatever you throw my way, not only will it turn me on, not only will I get excited, I promise you, I will have an answer for it. And it's not because I'm trying to be rude. It's not because I'm trying to have fun like I typically normally do. It's because I would like to see this done. Because I would like to do something. So when you say Ella G. French, it's not just a "I'm sorry" fucking bullshit line. It's not just a "oh, this is sad" bullshit fucking line. Results. Answers. With this app, it's very important. It's very critical. From now on, in the year 2021 or the year 2022, whenever this gets passed, in driver's ed, in all the high schools in the state of Illinois, in all the private schools in the state of Illinois, when every student gets a driver's license, it is mandatory that they go through this app, that they are aware of who Ella G. French is, that they are aware that they could communicate with the officer through this app, that they are aware never ever get out of the vehicle unless they are told so to this officer, that they are aware how Ella G. French transported from earth to heaven. It all starts when you're 16 years old. So once they get their driver's license, they go to Secretary of State's office. Secretary of State's office, there will be questions. Who is Ella G. French? If this app goes off and it alerts you with Ella G. French's picture lighting up red and blue all around her beautiful face, you know that you are getting pulled over, and you will push that app to communicate with that officer. That officer is safe. The driver is safe. The passenger is safe. Everyone is safe. And if the officer needs to write you a ticket, he or she will do so electronically. With your driver's license, you provide an email. If you don't have an email, the ticket will be mailed to your home the same way a red light camera speeding ticket gets mailed to your home, and the officer will inform you. If the officer gives you a warning, that officer will tell you through the app, I'm going to give you a warning, but slow down next time, please. Everyone is fucking safe. If there is an expired license plate sticker, and the officer needs to make his or her quota to get the masterminds who control the puppet politicians richer to fulfill their insecurities, because it's never enough money for them and they're never happy in life no matter how much money and power they get, the officer will be able to inform them, I'm writing you a ticket for an expired license plate sticker. And even the masterminds, as usual, will fucking win. But everyone's safe. Those are facts of life. I think what some of you are wondering and thinking, which is fine, it's normal. Change is not very popular. I don't like change. I'm content. I've always kind of been content. But change, sometimes scary. It's different. Got to get used to it. Got to look at the downsides. Any downsides, let me know. Any responses, any debates, any questions, let me know. Leave a comment. Message me. I'm not a pussy. I don't hide. I don't have a receptionist. I'll get to you eventually. Let me know, because I would like to learn. I don't think that you can teach me anything, to be very honest with you. But you never know. I firmly, well, I mean, unless you're like the CIA or Secret Service, I don't really think you're going to teach me anything. But I would be very happy and welcome to someone teaching me something. Second, this is important. I don't know the names because I don't keep track of stuff from out of state. I got a hard enough time keeping track of shit in Chicago, which I shouldn't have to do, by the way. There was an officer, and I'm just going to come out and say the race card because that's what everyone else does. There was a white officer, and there was a African American. Officer pulls him over. Allegedly, he had something hanging, if I recall, and if I'm mistaken, forgive me up front, because again, I don't follow other cases from other states, but it just happened to make the news, and I like to watch it to see how we could learn here in Chicago. I believe he had an air freshener hanging out. I believe he had possibly a warrant, if I heard that correctly, if that's true. Male officer pulls him over. He has another officer for backup. Well, the male officer didn't cuff him right away. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, if you want the truth, that guy is gone, and he's shot, and he's dead, and that female officer, she's probably going to prison because you didn't cuff him right away. But we don't have to talk about that. We don't. This video is in memory of Elegy French. We don't have to talk about that. I only bring that up just so other officers could learn right away. Cuff them ASAP. You move, you're getting tased. I'm not going to argue with you. That's just that. I don't argue. I'm not an arguing person. I'm going to tell you something one time. And I'm not even going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'll tell you that right now. I know what you're doing. You got your phone, you got your video. You know I got the dash cams rolling in the police car. You know you're going to FOIA request that. You know you want this to go on the news. I know the media wants it so they can get ratings. We ain't doing that. If I was a cop, I'm going to tell you one time you have a warrant for your arrest, turn around, cuff up. If you don't, I'm going to tase you. Are you going to turn around? Give me one little glimpse of you moving. Just give me something in my head to show me that you're about to move. Just say one syllable to me. I'm not going to shoot you. I don't do that. I hate guns. I'm not going to take your life. I'm going to tase you, and I'm going to have fun tasing you, and I'm going to have fun watching you jerk on the fucking ground. That's just who I am. I'm not a killer, but if I was a cop, I'm sure going to enjoy tasing you. I got tased before. I got maced before with contacts. Mace burns. It sucks. Taser sucks too, but it doesn't suck on this end. You ever hear that saying, this is going to hurt me a lot more than it's going to hurt you? Well, I don't know where that saying came from. Because I'll tell you right now, if I was a cop and if I had that taser, this is going to hurt you a lot more than it's going to hurt me. It's not even going to hurt me at all. It's going to make me entertain myself. Just turn around and cuff up and don't make this situation any worse. I know you want to move. That officer, that female officer, and that suspect is dead because you let him go. But it's okay. We are where we are. So the cop pulls him over, has a warrant, if I'm not mistaken, pulled him over, didn't cuff him. Person gets back in his car. Officer comes, and of course she's white. That's what the media is going to report. She has a name, but she's white. Big ratings. Tase him, tase him, tase him. On accident, she pulls out her gun. And she shoots him. And he's dead. And she's indicted. And many people, hundreds, went to her home. And they were, I think, attacking it. And this white officer, she had to move. She had to sell the house. I think she's probably going to prison. And why? We're done with the officer who let him go. That's a dead horse. No one's going to take responsibility for that one. That's over with. Maybe he feels guilty. I don't know. I don't even care. Honestly, I apologize for even bringing it up. I'm just bringing it up because that's a fact of life. And I'm just praying to God that any other person in Chicago who's a Chicago police officer or an Illinois state trooper, they could learn from that experience. That's why I'm bringing it up. I know no Chicago cops are going to let the motherfucker go. But nevertheless, go to the first domino. If this person has a warrant for his or her arrest, let's just say, and it wasn't, not that I'm aware of, but let's just say hypothetically it was a warrant because he didn't go to court for a murder charge. You really, honest to God, think me, hypothetically, if I was a cop, I'm going to leave my squad car and approach some dude who has been charged with murder and he didn't go to court and he's skipping? Well, if he allegedly murdered this person, which he probably did, and if he allegedly didn't go to court and ran and skipped, which he obviously did, because you don't have him, what in God's name, what the fuck do you think he's going to do to me? You want me to do your job? You want me to risk my life and get out of my car? You're no. And that's just one reason why I never became a cop. One. But here we are. Okay. You create that LG front chat. This person will see that this person has a warrant. This person will communicate with that person and tell him to pull over, and that person will know to stay in the car because he learned that shit when he was 16 and he got his driver's license. And while that person is being pulled over, that officer is pushing another button, which is a panic button, to let him or her and all his officers know this dude has a warrant. And this app that LG French created, this isn't going to go very well. He has to get out of the car eventually. So I'm going to need help. Now, this is where I will fully admit, since I have been talking about this with my surroundings and a couple other people, this is where they laugh and they say, no fucking way, Eric. So brace yourself. I can tell you right now, there's not one person to agree with me on this one. I still stand by it. And it's not that I still stand by it because I'm insecure and I want to say, okay, I was wrong. I still stand by it because I believe in it. I still stand by it because it's the safe thing to do. Brace yourself. When you pull that person over with the LG French app, and you have to have that suspect or that driver get out of the car because they have a warrant for his or her arrest, you tell that person over the app, sit tight. I'm going to approach your car. You sit tight. You're going to take the handcuffs, and you're going to put those handcuffs either A, behind that driver's, on top of that driver's trunk, or B, you're going to inform him, I need you to get out of the car with your back towards me and walk backwards. Do not look at me. You have a warrant for your arrest. Get out of the car with your back towards me and walk. Stay. You're going to take your handcuffs and you're going to throw your handcuffs towards the suspect on the ground. You're going to tell the suspect, cuff yourself from behind. Now, get your giggles out. My surroundings did. I'm honest. You're probably saying to yourself the same thing that my surroundings have said to yourself. They said to me, Eric, do you really, honest to God, think that they're going to listen? Yes and no. Every case is different. Every person is different. Okay, Eric, if a state politician told you to handcuff yourself, would you? Yeah, we laughed, of course. Yeah. I have before in the past. As a matter of fact, I have a history and a track record of voluntarily turning myself in. I actually have a pretty good track record every time of turning myself in. I don't have a history of running. I don't have a history of fleeing and eluding or avoiding. That's just not what I do. So, yeah, eventually I would. Yeah, I would. But you know what? Not everyone is like me. My surroundings, when I responded back to them, they sure as fuck didn't say anything because they just said, all right, yeah, he does have a history. He does turn himself in. But yeah. And why do I do that? Well, one, I always wanted to get caught, both times intentionally. Two, I left paper trails behind, so I'm not a dumb person. Three, which is more importantly, why make matters worse? Why add another charge? I'm not a stupid person, never have been. But nevertheless, I'm me. That person is them. Everyone's different. Guess what? Guess what, fuckface? I have news for you. If you don't cuff yourself up when that officer tells you to, guess what? Guess what, fuckface? Now you're going to be charged for resisting arrest. The same way you would be charged for resisting arrest if you were running. The same way you'd be charged with resisting arrest if the officer came and put handcuffs on you himself. Squabble, move, resisting arrest. They have to wrestle you down to the floor, resisting arrest. It all starts when you're 16 years old. This question and this new technology and this new way will all be planted inside of every American, or at least every Chicagoan in the state of Illinois when they are 16 years old. If the officer tells you to cuff up, you handcuff yourself. If you don't, you will be charged with a felony. That question will be asked at the Secretary of State's office. If you are drunk, DUI, whatever reason, the teacher in driver's ed will teach all the students, never ever argue with the cop. You're not going to win. We know that. I did anyway. Traffic tickets. Actually, I got a lot of them, so I did win. Sorry. You're never going to win. Secretary of State's office will inform everyone what the consequences will be if you don't handcuff yourself. Again, I emphasize change. Something different. We don't like it. There's downsides to it. We're not used to this. Honest to God, let's just say I go along with your feelings. Again, I don't like change either. Never had. But you know what? This way, the way we have now, that's not working. I think we could agree on that as adults. I think we could agree on that when we're calm, when we're sleeping at nighttime. Our way's not working. So we need a new way. And as crazy as it may sound, it will work. You want to run? You don't want to cuff yourself? That's fine. At that moment, then the officers have to go back to the old way. Then they have to chase you. And I guess you're going to be hit with another charge and you're a dumb criminal. And that's just the way life goes. Elegy French app. You will change the whole entire city of Chicago. You will change the whole entire state of Illinois State Troopers, and how they think. I'm not bullshitting you. Do you know how many fucking lives that Elegy French app and Elegy French herself will save moving forward? Just think about that. I just got done telling a genius this not too long ago. Saving a life is the best thing that you can do in life. Do you know how many lives will be saved? Do you know when you create this app, if you do? New York, California, Florida, Texas, the whole entire country will be looking at you. Whoever you are, whoever you may be. I'm not stupid. I know who's on my YouTube channel. They will be looking at you. They will be saying, wow, did you see the big U-turn that Chicago government has done? Did you see the Ella G. French app? Did you see her face? Let's try this. Let's test it out. Okay, Illinois State Trooper. Pull someone over. Wow, I'm driving. Ella G. French's face is lighting up blue and red in the background. Maybe even a sound effect if we could program it right with "Woo!" Oh my God, this is cool. I never have to get out of my vehicle again. Who wants to get out of their vehicle? Not to make a joke about the matter, but in the winter, It's cold as fuck. In the rain, it's cold as fuck. In the heat, when the police and the Illinois State Trooper has air conditioning on and it's nice and cold in his or her vehicle, I don't want to get out in the heat. You're making history. You're keeping Ella G. French's name alive. You're saving thousands of lives. That's a fact. I promise you. I would bet my soul that you are going to save thousands of people's lives. And we ain't just talking about officers. You know how many incidents where, unfortunately, the officer shot the driver or the passenger? That's another door that we haven't even opened yet. You know how many officers approached the driver, thought the driver had something, and he mistaken his cell phone or whatever he had for a gun, and he shot him? Well, that doesn't have to happen anymore. You know how many officers went to the passenger and they shot the passenger? That doesn't have to happen anymore. Now, there's a few knots that we have to go through, but those knots they're not bad knots. If you want to. If you want to. You ask yourself, well, how do we get this app installed, Eric? Well, I know someone. And you don't even have to go through me. There's people out there who install apps all the time. I got a deal. No bullshit. So my geniuses know politicians and the masterminds, their wet dream in life to fulfill their insecurities is to create jobs and give millions of taxpayers' money to a certain individual because it makes them feel taller. They're big businessmen with your money. That's fine. That's never going to change. I know it just is what it is. Go find someone who creates apps. Oh, my name is so-and-so. I'm an insecure mastermind. I'm going to control this politician. And he or she is going to talk to you because I have the puppet on a string. And he does what I tell him or her to do. And we want to create an app called Ella G. French. How much is this app going to cost? Not that much. Okay, so how do we get this started? Well, you got to create the app. You need an app designer. Isn't hard at all. You need to get the rights. This is my opinion, what I would do. I would contact Ella G. French's husband, and I would contact Ella G. French's mom to get the rights of her picture. If you don't already have the rights, there's multiple beautiful pictures of her. You could use one. I'd use one with her full uniform on. I think you own the right to that picture. Just because someone's in the picture doesn't mean they own the picture. It's the person who took the picture who owns the picture. So I think the rights already belong to the Chicago Police Department anyway. You use that picture. You get a hold of the governor's office, and you tell the governor you're requesting a meeting. The governor sits down. He hears what you have to say. Then the governor gets a hold of the Secretary of State, whoever that may be. And Secretary of State, they go by the laws, they go by the questions, they go by what to teach the students, they go by what to hand all the pamphlets. The governor, whoever that may be, he gets a hold of a car dealership. He knows some car dealership owners. Car dealership owners would love to do this. Start with Ford, start with Mercedes, start with BMW, start with whoever. And once you start it with one, monkey see, monkey do. The next car company is going to do it. Then the next car company is going to do it. This isn't going to happen overnight. For some of you are saying we're not going to be able to install this app in every single car in Chicago within a day, Eric. I know. You got to start it sometime. But if we sit here and we debate it, it's going to take longer. If we sit here and question me, it's going to take longer.